viewers, welcome to part 2 of the complete Gmod FNAF timeline. We are continuing this massive video with beginning season 2. And then leading into the grand conclusion of this and, all that. So yes, let us begin. We begin with the beautiful opening of night. We begin in the in-between section. The in-between, or what I would basically dub season 2. You know what? Frickin' this entire bit up till, I think, the Frost Gang movie, I'll consider this an honorable season 2, just because of how much content is in it. Like, I'm pretty sure there's over, there's 11 videos just for the in-between section. And they're pretty long altogether. So yeah, I'll consider this kind of an season 2, and then we'll move into season 3. So let's begin season 2. So, no audio, folks. So, we open with Malware. This is our first true introduction to Malware as an antagonist, and we see what he does best. This is all in chronological order, by the way, folks. So, Malware is on a quest to try to get data and also trying to find the things he needs. He kills characters we saw, he kills some people. He eats some people off rooftops. He kills a lefty. He just basically gets on a murder. He just goes, oh no, here I go killing again. We see the first corruption he's able to do, creating Demon Spring Bonnie, and he jumped off a cliff. Yeah, so we see as we see one of the characters trying to fight him off, we see a group of characters trying to hold Malware off, trying to get rid of him, as he mainly just keeps getting through the area, killing creatures that try to attack him. And soon he soon is dealing with more electronics. Basically, this is just showing Malware just dealing with electronics. And once we get to a certain point, he's able to get out of there. And soon he reaches a bit of a house with air boys and a glitched nightmare balloon boy. And so he finally reaches the end of where he had to get to. We see Demon Shadow Bonnie kind of talking to him and turning him into the place. As we see Ralpho alerting the animatronics to Malware. But sadly, that call doesn't go through, since the animatronics don't know who Malware is. It sounds like it goes through, but that's just the animatronic kind of just glitching out, trying to pretend like they're there. And as that happens, we move in to the Neo Adventure, a good old aside series that happens. So, during this, we see the Neon animatronics. Neo Freddy, Neo Bonnie, Neo Chica, and Neo Foxy, as they're called. So we open with them, kind of just enjoying life. They're all awakening after years of being in slumber. They have no idea where they are, who they are, so yeah, they start finally with opening a building. We see a character who is in Shattered World, known as he's a non-important character. We see the Igniteds making their, of course, iconic return, as they will return throughout the series at this point. So we see them kind of trying to figure out what to do as they just leave and run off. Meanwhile, we see the Neon animatronics kind of all talking, preparing to get everything in the way. And I've got Neo Sparkles there, huh? Yeah, so we see them all talking, working together as they're kind of building a little shack for the pizzeria. This is kind of where so we can kind of see them all beginning to work everything together. We see them weaving together as they're able to form the first real place. As Sparky kind of helps them a bit more, and then we get the Neo Freddy's Pizza Cafe. And with the pizzeria finally formed, Sparky and Golden Freddy talk to so we get a bit more shots. As we see kind of Ignite Chica going and trying to get some food. She gets some milk. She ascends to godhood. As we see Stylites Withered Freddy and Foxy. And as this is all happening, they visit. Sparky was sent out to go kind of tell people about the cafe. He discovers Springtrap, who, I'm pretty sure this character just went one-off. He went to hell sometime. He thought there was going to be a series about this. That won't be. Yeah, so, we see as he goes to try to find Sparky, who's being brutally killed by the End, as the End's just dealing with people he finds insubordinate. And so he discovers Neo Foxy now being hunted by the End at this point. And as we see all the Neo animatronics talking, we see the fact that he was hunted, and now they have an ultimatum. If they do not make him good food, they will die. Basically, he's Lord Beerus from Dragon Ball Z. Super. Who I unintentionally made him like this. I did not intend for this, folks. This was before I knew about Dragon Ball. Anyways, yeah, so we see him enjoy some nice, delicious courses. He says, "You will live for now," and pieces out of there, even though he wouldn't destroy the timeline, knowing his story and why he's there. And so we see him head out as he's making contact with the hunter, who we would see in Shadow World. We will get to that when we get to that point. So we see more conversations between the two as they're all trying to figure out what to do. We get build up to all more lore important stuff. And this kind of ends introduction as an antagonist as we move into Neo Adventure Part 2. For some reason I've watched this before. I think this was during premieres, folks. Sorry about all this, and sorry about the background noise, if you can hear it. So we open on the Neo Freddy Pizza Cafe after all the events that happened in the previous episode. They're all kind of enjoying life, trying to figure out what to do now. Yeah, so they're all just kind of getting over what happened yesterday, the day before. As new animatronics have moved in, as they're all being invited and told about this beautiful pizzeria that offers really good food. And so, as they're brought in, the animatronics are lured. People are unknowingly lured into this place, being fed some delicious course food, as we see the return of Jeremy, and also some animatronics. Yeah, so this is so while the hell is trying, yeah, so you see Scraptrap's return. As we see the Ignited also make their return, looking for Ignited Chica. We see Bonnie, as we see her get damaged. We see Ignited Chica get damaged, and see the Snow animatronics, the Frost animatronics, we see them return. We see the end and Hunter talking immensely as she tosses. Yeah, we see Chica find Ignited Chica, and as we see her being brought over to the cafe again, and they give her some milk. She gets high. I think I don't know that she has high eyes. I don't know why. Yeah, so we move out as the animatronics kind of go over as Chica bids them adieu. As soon she's kind of captured by a very high drug man. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, this was the guy that kidnapped him. I still don't know what the hell's up with him. But yeah, he was just kidnapping them. He kind of he harassed them, beat them, whipped them, and kind of just took them in. He did a bargain. He threatened Pizzeria for some time. He damaged the animatronics. And they were just confused and concerned of what the hell was happening in their pizzerias. They lost a bit of traction. As all of a sudden, a portal opens. We see a time traveler. This character will be important later, as he would have been important as he talks about something in the future. He tries to tell them about the end of it, but I'm pretty sure he leaves. And this is where kind of the first event of Time Traveler I will talk about this once we reach the end of this massive Goliath little project set. We see the end going back on his malevolent rants as Chica is finally able to escape. As she doesn't know where she is anymore, she's kind of lost. She tries to curb it suicide, but it fails. As we enter Neo Adventure Part 3, Neo Freddy had been able to buy a massive pizzeria, a massive city off someone. I'm pretty sure in Part 1 or 2. So we see as they all try to make their homes and kind of find their places. We see Blacklight Chica's return as now she's evil. As she kind of sets them up a little area as she brings our Nightmare, who's gotten a bit of a redesign since the last time we saw him. He's now a lot more tall. So he now understands where all the animatronics are and people who he deems threats. He's trying to gain more territory on the Nightmare Empire, obviously. But, of course, and they get a new Blacklight Chica, who is our new ally. Since, yeah, there's just copies of the Blacklights everywhere. We see Nightmare almost fall to his death. I'm pretty sure Blacklight tried to betray him or something else. But yeah, basically they just form plants as they all begin going in for attacks. As Nightmare kind of gives her a bit of a power up. As soon the animatronics are attacked by Nightmare and his goons, the goons. And these are more. Yeah. So we see them all come out like, what the hell is that noise? We just heard a massive sound as they soon launch. I'm pretty sure this is where they launch an attack as they begin attacking them and destroying the place. They all need to kind of get out of the way, trying to get away from Nightmare. They cause more and more damage, and they just continue getting fought. Bonnie is killed. Bonnie dies, and this was Bonnie gets killed. I'm pretty sure, Foxy also dies in this. I think, no, Foxy's the one who lives, I think, Yeah, so Blacklight, Foxy, and Freddy are able to escape. Foxy's charred, but he's able to escape it in time. So the animatronics are damaged, destroyed, and battered, as Foxy has to bring Freddy. Freddy, I'm pretty sure, is dying slowly, or is dead by the end of this. Yeah, Foxy, yeah. What the fuck? Foxy kills him? What? I don't know what's happening in this scene, but I'm pretty sure it's stuck with the fight or something. I don't remember what happens in the scene, but yeah, Foxy's killed, I'm pretty sure. So the animatronic, Foxy, I'm pretty sure, it's given an ultimatum. Oh yeah, Blacklight Freddy's brutally killed by her. As we move in to part 4, what? Okay. Yes, we move into part 4 after Blacklight Freddy's horrific death. So we see as the entire place has been destroyed, we see Nightmare Blacklight Chica is given a new design, now being called Jakku. Blacklight Nightmare Blacklight Chica. Nightmare Blacklight Chica. So yeah, we see the two dead animatronics as we learn that the old Chica's still alive. The other Chica's still alive. As she gets Foxy and brings him over to where an apartment building is, as we see the other black lights. These are kind of just, I don't know why I have these, since they never offer anything to the lore except helping and like trying to solve Nightmare. To be honest, I feel like this ruined everything in part 3. So yeah, we see them fight off the animatronics as they take down the Nightmares, and this is an entire scene where they're just fighting against Nightmare. Fox's like, bro, why did you do this? As we see the black lights, as we see Foxy get damaged a bit, we see bullets kind of rain down from the skies. We see kind of all the animatronics fighting, trying to survive. Bonnie's killed again. Bonnie's damaged and beaten. As the animatronics are holding their own against Nightmare and kind of trying their best to defeat the animatronics. Nightmare animatronics. An explosion rings out. She gets burned, is being turned into molten lava. As in the end, she defeats Blacklight. Neighbor Blacklight's like, you thought, and yeah, Chica is able to get out of there. As she's killed, and Freddy jumps down. As Foxy's gonna retrieve Freddy, who's now nothing but a burnt corpse. Foxy's also burnt. Yeah, so we reveal that Foxy's still alive. As he picks up Freddy's charred, dying body as he dies. And of course, he takes him back to where it all began, as they teleport away. With that the story ending, they return back as he buries Freddy, as he buries his friends. Foxy kind of leaves. We see a new variant of Foxy, and this would have gone into a season 2 kind of thing, where we would have seen a lot more stuff happening with them, but the new series never hit season 2, sadly, so, yep. And that's what this ending scene was meant to represent, the beginning of season 2. Anyways, now we move in to the Nightmare Begins, Part 2, Season 2 sneak peek. Or, well, Season 2 episode. Yeah, as it's 6. So, we see as Freddy and the gang go to investigate some rumors they've been hearing about animatronics. We see Freddy's new design as soon they discover, as they adventure in, with Freddy's like, should we be really checking this out? Well, Puppet's like, yeah, there may be animatronics here. And they soon discover Splink's Bonnie. Damaged, destroyed, and abandoned. The Splink animatronics have been wandering for multiple years, but because of their souls already moving on, they become basic feral creatures that only know to attack and kill. That's their point of existing, that they only want to kill and attack. Because that's all they know right now. Because their souls are gone, they only know how to kill. Puppet's injured. She's able to, I believe, save Bonnie this much. Wizard Freddy uses his almost omnipotent power, which gives her a bit of a power boost, makes her high for a minute. Yeah, so in the end, she's able to cure Bonnie, and is able to purge him of the kind of evil that fueled him for a long time. And he would have also made a bit of return later down the line. And yeah. And the reason they're able to become this more sleeker design is because of the toy animatronics. So yeah, soon they find Foxy, and they soon have to purify him, as they're fighting Foxy, I believe they're able to purify. Yeah, it's a little drawn out as Foxy soon is able to be pure. Bonnie's almost beaten, but they soon see Gold with Freddy, who's brutally beaten Foxy, who killed Golden Freddy, fused with him. And yeah, it's basically a more mutilated creature. As he's disappointed in the fact that he doesn't know who the Freddy or Bonnie is. That I believe Bonnie is corrupted for a minute, but yeah, Bonnie's able to find. Basically, the more damage variant to them, they're corrupted. So in the little final fight, they begin fighting and fighting and fighting. As soon, there's a couple Withered Golden. Yes, Blink's Freddy tries to kill Withered Freddy, but because of Withered Freddy's overpoweredness, he's able to defeat him. Yeah, and he's able to and I believe he is the one who cures Foxy and Chica. And in the end, Foxy, Chica, and yeah, so Foxy's cured. Withered Freddy's like, oh my god, how dare you cure my friends who definitely want this. He gets a power boost from malware, obviously. Yeah, so he gets a power boost from malware, that's why he becomes green and electricity. He buries it. Yeah, so the fight ends with Freddy being killed. I believe his death. Yeah, so he's killed, and yeah, he shows the fact that he just doesn't care. He wants to. He hates the animatronics. All the animatronics are at this point kind of purified. As Withered Freddy begins using more of his power. Sadly, Blink Freddy is killed as he's buried in the ground. And I believe in the final scene of this episode, we see the animatronic. Yes, the Blinks leave. They'll be seeing again. Malware comes and collects Withered Freddy. Talk about how he will bring him back. Now we move into the Jacko movie. A massive Goliath. So, get your popcorn. We're in for a long one, folks. Alright! So, we open 5 years before the events of the actual movie. We open in a little distant port. As we see Nightmare planning out an attack with Nightmare, Bonnie, and the Jacko, the Nightmares. They're going to attack a house. Trying to get a house, trying to claim it, all that shit. So they soon go in for a bit of a fight. As they soon all gather together, they all go in. As they see the house looks pretty much deserted to them. The fight begins. As they investigate, they soon discover that it's just it's Danny living there, who they're like, wait a minute, this isn't the person we were told that lived here. And so they kill Danny. Yeah, talking to each other, Nightmare soon swept into the ocean. They're like, oh god, no. He drowns and kills Danny. And he's also swept into the ocean. Nightmare Fredbear resurrects Nightmare Bonnie, Nightmare Chica using the Jacko pumpkin. The pumpkin. Once being resurrected. So the two Jacko pumpkins resurrect them. But yeah, basically making two exact copies of them. Now bringing forth the new animatronic, the new blues. With their return, with the Jacko animatronics kind of being appeared, like, oh hey, as soon as now we see. But yeah, this where a more important fact comes in as the other two Nightmares wake up like, oh, what happened there? But the Jackos are soon trapped in time, I'm pretty sure. So we see the Jacko Bonnie and Jacko Chap walking through as they see the Nightmare Jackos kind of wake up from their sleep, not knowing where they are, as they walk in to the Jacko Pizzeria. Meeting the Jacko animatronics, as they all meet up, talk, and they meet Ghost Freddy, who's like, oh, hello there, I'm Oogly Boogly. Hello there, I'm Oogly Boogly Man. Yes, I'm Ghost. As Jacko Bonnie's consider everything that's happened, as they all meet the new Shadow Island. As they all meet Jacko animatronics, they all begin talking, trying to figure out what's happened. Soon I believe it's Jacko Bonnie. Yes, Jacko Bonnie is his brother. So it's Jacko Chica, who I do not know. I believe this is confirmed later in the series how she's brought back. Yeah, but yeah, Jacko Bonnie has more conscious unknowings. As soon we enter into episode 2. This is episode 2 of the Jacko series. So we see Jacko Bonnie and Jacko Trap talking a lot more, being good old brothers. as now we see more Halloween animatronics arrive, as they're called. So we see Death return, who is acting like a normal person, but he obviously isn't. Kim Foxy is Death, so we see the animatronics trying to set everything up for Halloween, you know, getting all that set up. Soon, Killer Bonnie, or Chick, discovers a variant of William, or a random Springlock victim who is still alive. Ghost Freddy kind of travels through the vents a bit, trying to figure out what the hell he is. Oh, Jack is being talky as they're trying to figure out what the hell's happening. And so, I'm pretty sure sooner or later, so he soon escapes as he hides in the pizzeria trying to figure out what to do. As all the interns are setting everything up for Halloween, you know, trying to get all as much stuff as they all can get packed up. As the Ghost Freddy's chilling, he's just enjoying life as he kind of helps a bit, trying to get everything set up. We get his story a bit, as we learn he's a old friend animatronic, aka the one from Action Origins Part 3, if you will believe that. Yeah. So yeah, we kind of see the two talk for a minute as we learn both their stories, also where each other is coming from. They're like, oh yeah, no, you know what we're Dave. So these two get a bit of a moment with each other, and it's a very beautiful moment, of course. See you soon! Yeah, so I'm trying to continue chatting and talking as we get another beautiful moment between the two Jackos siblings. As now, episode 3 begins, as the movie really begins. I'm pretty sure this is where the movie kicks off. As we see the two Jacko animatronics talking, they talk to everyone else a lot more as they all try to figure out what's happening. Every Jacko animatronic's like, yeah, we're gonna do all this, yeah, we're having fun, yeah, really, yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, as we get a bit more lore on Ghost Freddy, who may or may not return in part 2. We get his story now. This is kind of this full-blown story in Origins that was later confirmed. Yeah, this is kind of just us seeing the true secrets as we see his creation. Yeah, he survives. He dies here, but he becomes Ghost Freddy. He becomes the ghouly ghoul. As we see a bit of a lore, this is never brought up again. Yeah, and that's his entire story. As we see Jacko Chica be talked to a bit. Ghost Freddy kind of leaves. He comes back, and Jacko Trap calls and talks to Glitch Chap and everyone else. He says, hey, you want to come by the B3? Sure, yeah. Why the hell not? Yeah. And so the Jaguar animatronics, and so the animatronics realize that new friends are coming by. And so, and soon, Glitchtrap and his group arrive. You know, kind of all trying to talk. We get number 3 like, oh god, where the hell am I? Why am I here? What the hell's happening? As everyone's talking, kind of like, oh yeah, be respectful, don't do anything dangerous, don't kill or hurt anyone. Glitchtrap, of course, is being, as they go in, Glitchtrap continues being talks to Ghost Freddy as Ghost Freddy talks about some more sensitive information that makes him angry. We see Malbear, of course, being Malbear. We see all the other ghosts. Yeah, we see basically a good interaction with all the Jackos. And we see Glitchtrap kind of having his own memories. As soon as he discovers, basically he's having a bit of a mental break. As Bonnie tries to help him through it, as Glitchtrap talks to him about everything that happened, and he's like, yeah, dude, you better go confront your problems instead of trying to deny them. I would have probably had a bit more, I would have added something to the scene, yeah, but everyone leaves, as we get a scene between Glitchtrap and Demon Spring Bonnie. As Demon Spring Bonnie reveals the truth, that there's a bit of him in Glitchtrap. So Glitchtrap frees him, being manipulated by him. The animatronics don't want him there. It's basically just a bit of a riff on Rise Glitchtrap that I would admit kind of goes against the character arc he's had up to this point. But yeah, he's manipulated by his own self, and he's in a way he's also manipulated. It's also been pushed by his own demon, ironically, and so he's taken over by Demon Spring Bonnie. As he's given an offer, and to be honest, I would have done a lot better. I would have done a lot more with Demon Spring Bonnie, Demon Glitchtrap, but sadly, I couldn't do much because the fact that I was kind of limited by it. And the fact is that I may or may not have lost the model and it was removed from the workshop later down the line. Anyways, yeah. Soon it's as the animatronics continue getting ready for Halloween, they soon realize that they're all going to be paid a visit by the Jacko King himself. As they all freak out like, oh god, what are we going to do, what are we going to do, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. So they're all getting ready as everyone's kind of moving inwards. Springtrap tries to look like a Jacko, I'm pretty sure. They go, yeah, I'm a Jacko, I'm scary, I'm dead, I'm a dead corpse. Everyone tells a bit of spooky, scary skeleton stories. As they all soon realize that, and we learn a bit more about lore of the animatronics. And yeah, and now we open Halloween Day. Or 2 days, yeah. We get visited by the King of Halloween, Jack Skeleton. That is his actual canon name. His canon name is Jack Skeleton, but yeah. He's like, sorry, excuse me. He's like, hello there, I'm Jacko King, I'm the Jacko King, the King of Halloween. Yeah, it's kind of like, you're not true scary, you're dead, I'm gonna kill you all, wah. Oh, oh. Yeah, this character's okay, ignore this character, yeah, he kind of shows his dominance over everyone, he's like, yeah, you're not important to me, ha 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 ha, genetic villain trap. Jacko Chica is almost killed. Oh, yeah, I'm trying to be like, oh god, we need to get out of here as he takes over the pizzeria. He's like, yes, I'm a true Jacko King, get the hell out of my pizzeria. And yeah, and then we open on Halloween Day. As you see a lot of other Jacko animatronics attend. This is kind of what I call the Jacko get-together. As all the Jackos are like, oh god, as our cast of heroes are like, what are we gonna do? Oh god, this isn't good. The pizzeria is being taken over by Jacko animatronics. And so they decide the best course of action is revolution. 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 As revealed that the Jacko Prince is being controlled by malware, as also Glitch has revealed to be malware. The Jacko Trap is revealed. So we see him kind of injuring and killing everyone as he gets taken over the place. All the other Jackos are like, hell no, we're not gonna let you do this. Oh god, what's happening? As the pizzeria is being warped by his power, we see Jacko Trap barely doing it as he's able to defeat malware for a bit. As once malware is defeated and using the spirit of Halloween, he's able to defeat him. Malware has shown his power as malware kind of just is angered by the fact he was defeated by a low-life mortal and decides that I'm out of here. And kind of switches the mind of the two animatronics. Yeah. William controls the Jacko Trap, the King Prince field, but malware leaves and kind of just and off screen he's killed by them. And now we move in to the first kind of hidden moment in the shadows. I'm not playing it. So we see the Shadow Realm as all the amateurs kind of talking, trying to figure out what to do. We see the Mega T-Poser as we kind of learn a bit about the army itself. Will we be seeing more of the Shadow Realm in the reboot? No. And we'll get to that point there when we get there. So yeah. So we see I will actually explain something. So there's actually a power ranking in the entire foundation in the Shadow Realm. Red, purple, pink, and white. White is the highest you can be, and red is the most common and the lowest you can be. Yep, and magenta is the second lowest, and purple is the second highest. So yeah, that's the little power ranking for you all. Yeah. So we see kind of them all being talked to as everyone's kind of being sorted out. We see some animatronics. We see the End, who is the ruler of the Shadow Realm, I add, talking to the Void Wraith. As he's all like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, why me? Yeah, of course his voice is tearing people's heads off. Yeah, so you see a bit of more lore implications. So we see more interesting lore as as this episode ends. We move in to the final part of the nightmare begins. As now we see all the animatronics being attacked. We see malware's entire operation working with the Shadow Realm actually, which is why he has shadow entities, animatronics. We see the corrupted people, as we see also Glitch Trap. And I'm pretty sure this is the last scene we get the current model we have for a while. Yeah, so we see some talks, some chats, and all the characters kind of went together trying to figure out what to do. As now we just see current banter as we see the creation of Shadow Blink's Freddy. Perfect creation. As soon as his hand is able to be replaced, and I'm pretty sure his limbs are detachable. Yeah, so yeah, he joins them obviously because he's evil. And so, joining them, he doesn't realize what he's truly getting himself into. And so the two teams work together. But soon something happens. The world itself begins shaking as Guts his demon string body now possessing his arms. So like, yeah, we're gonna do all this here. It's all within our reach. But then, the world itself begins shaking. As the Shadow Realm is opened. As they move in to the crossover nexus. Meant to be me and Juki's massive crossover project, but sadly failed. So as we open, as we see the first of the new logo, that will carry on to the series. So we see all the animatronics talking, kind of enjoying life. As we see where all the animatronics are in life right now. We see, this is our first seeing of the new type, of the new feature of the pizzeria currently. Still the animatronics actually really happy and having a good time. We see all the animatronics kind of talking, trying to get over with everything that's happened. We see the last occurrence of Ennard before he's hit by the pit. Yeah, so we see all the animatronics kind of talking, trying to figure out what's happening. As basically it's just a little calm before the storm. As the world begins shaking, the pizzeria caves in on itself. Freddy's dead, and so Freddy kind of dies, so they have to go to the Shadow Realm to do lore implications to revive him, since the Shadow Realm is basically the dead. So that's the only way they can revive Freddy, which is their motivation to go to the Shadow Realm. But what they don't realize is that going to the Shadow Realm, they discover that there's some crap going on here. And so, they get thrown into the hijinks of the Shadow Realm. As Moondrop's captured. Oh god, Moondrop's captured. What are we gonna do, folks? Void Ray corrupts him, turning into Shadow Drop. Demon Drop. As they all kind of like, oh god, we're all gonna die. With everyone kind of freaking out, we see the first appearance of a minion of. We see the General, who, yeah, he's like, oh yeah, I'm the big bad. Spooky bad. Yeah, so we see more, as we see go fight them, we see the death of the General, who is killed by Moon. Moon's like, oh my god, I hate these. As the Void Ray reveals himself, as Moon's freed, as soon the Shadow Realm is absorbed by the Void Ray, as we see his true form, the King of the Shadow, the demons. As his power is shown to be almost tenfold of that. As he tries to kill all of them, Wither Freddy's able to defeat him after a long fought battle. Wither Freddy is the one who kills him in the end. Well, no, it's the end actually. It's the end. So, Shadow was restored and all the characters are thrown out of the Shadow Realm. And that is Crossover Nexus. Now let's move on to another holiday. Most of this is holiday special, ironically. 25 days for Frost Gang. So this is kind of part 1, as we see all the Frost animatronics living their best life. As they're all pretty much chit-chatting, trying to figure out what to do with their life. As they're kind of just living in the frozen pizzeria, as we see Jacko Chica. As they're all kind of, living their best life, enjoying the nice cold evening. As they're all trying to get ready for the holidays. As Polaris kind of the more Frost queen of the place. It soon just kind of lives in the middle of the day. As we move into their movie. It's 25 Days of the Frost Gang movie. So we see everyone having a good time. As everyone trying to just chat and having good times. Like I said, all the Frost Gang is just kind of, getting people together as they meet new friends and new allies. Growing their team a bit more by the day. As soon they meet the Frost Plush, which is totally not Shadow Plush reincarnated. Definitely not. So now we see as the Frost Gang is all talking, as they're all trying to figure out what to do now. As they're in this new pizzeria entirely. As soon they are able to move out. As they leave and move out of the pizzeria, they move in to the new pizzeria of the Christmas pizzeria. As they're all like, oh my god, this place is snazzy! Look how festive it is! Yeah! As they all move in, they're all kind of getting everything ready. All the amateurs like, yeah boy, we got a frost cold pizzeria. And so we see all the animatronics getting settled in, as we see the first sign of the first incarnation of William. Or evil William. who hasn't learned all his pain and redemption. As we see, we get a flashback to how the Frost Emperor was born, as it's basically a Frost Bear and Black Eyes fusing into one, trying to stop a creature from killing everyone. In the end, he fuses with his brother, basically, and yeah, that's how he forms into the Frost Boy. That's why he's all frosty. Yeah, we see another Frost animatronic. The Frost Emperor, the true Frost Emperor, he's also killed and assimilated. As we see the creation of the Frost animatronic, the Frost King. As he moves out, he kind of tells that story. This is when he's like, oh yeah, that's traumatizing. We see after him grow a bit stronger before his grand attack. He actually, the entire pizzeria. Basically, he's like the Krampus of Christmas. And as this fight rages on, meanwhile, the Frost Queen's doing her own thing, kinda. Doing her black magic. Afton is soon defeated by getting hacked into the system. And yeah, that's the entire thing. Afton is barely alive. So we get the damaged Frost Chica, which is one of my favorite designs in the series, I have to admit. Yeah, all the animatronics are damaged, short, and injured, as they're all trying to figure out what the hell happened. With, of course, another few minutes ago in the movie, we had the Frost Emperor entering in like, hey there, I'm the Frost King. Already having a vendetta against them. We see Afton still barely alive as he slowly is dying. And so we see his spirit kind of going like, how? God, I got those filthy animatronics defeated me. Well, then I'll control them. I'll ruin their Christmas. It's like, oh god, who's doing this? What's doing this? He slowly gains more and more physical form. As he soon is defeated, as he's beaten out and, of course, cast aside. He's like, oh no, I'm defeated! Now! As yeah, Christmas soon is saved, of course, as animatronics are able to fix themselves up. And that's the end of the Frost series. And this is a scene that will never be brought up again. As I move in to the Frost Storm, also released on Christmas. So, we open with the animatronics, they're all living their best life, you know, having a good time. We see the last time we see Golden Freddy with the hat. We see all the animatronics kind of living their best life, kind of all chatting, talking about how their life has been since the entire incident, talking about the Nexus crossover. As they're all like, wow, we went through a lot. We have a lot of emotional baggage. But then they're soon attacked by a storm. A cold, freezing storm that caves the entire building in. It's like, oh god, we're all frozen shut. This is great. But soon they realize it's getting worse, as the animatronics are being corrupted by the ice and attacked. And they're like, oh god, what the frick is happening? Some of the animatronics are freezing to death, other animatronics are like, oh god, what the frick's happening? And Foxy never got his right ear fixed, by the way, folks. His right ear will never be returning. Yeah, so Freddy's like, oh god, what the frick's happening? Oh god, we're all gonna die. Yeah, so everyone's concerned on why the pizzeria is being frozen shut and the entire place is freezing, as we see Frost Trap, who tries to attack the animatronics but fails horribly and is killed. Yeah, so after that entire shenanigans, Freddy Frostbear shows himself, like, hey, I'm gonna help you. He tries to hold the Frost back, but soon we get Frost Freddy. Or Black Eyes Freddy, and he's soon also defeated, as we see animatronics getting pulled in. They're like, oh god, this is terrible, what the frick is happening? People are being corrupted, and yeah, the snow is basically just like, hey, I'm evil, ho 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 ho. Yeah, we see we see frozen animatronics, basically. And will these animatronics appear? Who knows? We see the first frost tip, we see the fact that it affects many people, as we see all the animatronics kind of deal with it. We see Freddy, Golden Freddy, who froze to death, sadly. Golden Freddy. As they're all like, oh god, we see the reveal of Black Eyes Freddy, who's kind of the main antagonist of this being a short, and he's angry that people are calling him short. Yeah, Fredbear's like, and Withered Freddy's like, ha, you think you can do anything?
No, ma'am.
As all the animatronics are being frozen, we see the animatronics kind of hold their own against the Frost animatronics. Seeing as many of their friends are being frozen, it ends with Freddy Frostbear and his brother fighting. It ends with Frostbear being defeated by his brother, ironically. Which the fight, and it ends with him being killed and being brutally brutalized by his own spear. He's killed and 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 beaten and beaten and beaten and beaten. As Frostbear's like, hey, I'm gonna take the snow away and I'm gonna take my brother and all these people away. Bye bye. And after this, the snow slowly subsides. As you see, kind of a scene where we see him going up. As we see the demons. And now we move in to season 3, A New Era. We opened 5 years after the defeat of the demons. Freddy and his gang realized Darky was returned. But now they must fight and defeat malware. Yes, I read the description, sue me. So yes, we see, as all of the animatronics, of course we see Gold Freddy with his hat again, in the same position they were all in at the start of every episode. So we kind of see a good opening as we see everyone and where they are at in life. As we kind of see, we see Sun and Moon. Moon's like, hey, I'm coming to get my brother a new suit. And this is already immediately forgotten, so this isn't canon anymore. So Moon's like, hey, I got a new suit, guys. Do I look cool? No. Yeah, so we see the two brothers fight. We see the insanity that Moondrop hat, the Sun has. We see Edward being consumed by the pit and finally dying. Yeah, that was a happy little ending for Malware. Let's see all the amateurs actually talking, having a good time. The windows are destroyed. As soon we end with a cliffhanger of Nightmare and Shadow Lefty beginning to ready for an attack. As the Pizzeria is invaded off camera, many animatronics are injured. Moondrop and Sun are saved because Sun is evil and malevolent and is able to hold them off. We see that Shadow Blinks Freddy has a freaking portal gun on his hand, so that's cool. Yeah, so he's able to protect Moon. Sun's able to protect Moon, but Moon's very scared of the fact that his brother's deranged. We see Demon Spring Body like, you are the reason I'm like this. You are the reason I'm here. And he attacks him and almost kills him, but he's like, oh no, please, I don't want to become marketable. Yeah, and Golden Freddy's brutalized. We see all the team kind of talking, trying to figure out what to do. Shadow Bonnie uses his shadow instinct, trying to talk to everyone, trying to figure out what to do. He tells them what's happening. And so that's how they know what's happening. Is Bonnie's still alive, barely. As all the animatronics are trying to figure out what to do, many people are So yeah, they're trying to figure out what to do. As they're talking, Lefty appears, like, hey, I'm here. Yeah, what's happening? Okay, yeah, nice. Yeah, and this is like, oh yeah, this is a parallel. This is just them. As Lefty kind of is soon. Yeah. So Lefty's kind of like, hey there, hello there, be self-Michael here. All the other animatronics are like, we don't know where Glitchop's been. He's been missing all this time. The animatronics are like, what? Say a what? Glitchop's missing? Yeah. So like, they're all trying to figure out what to do, trying to recode the picture, but sadly, they fail. And this is a good example of showing the fact that, yeah, no, they're not all powerful. Freddy's beaten, every animatronic is defeated by Nightmare and his goons, and they have to escape. As they soon retreat to the secondary pizzeria. As they're soon once more jumped by a demon, they get jumped by an animatronic, or Demon Jacobon, I believe that's the animatronic who was attacked. Now I don't remember. Yeah, they're able to get out of there, and they just are like, oh god, what is happening? And soon they reach after going down a massively long hallway, they reach the secondary pizzeria. Meeting up with the second animatronics, they're like, hey, yeah, we all got beaten and brutalized. Swing Body's like, yeah, I can fix it, and gives them a better upgrade with all the other animatronic parts. Moondrop awakens like, oh god, what's happening? We see Demon Spring Body and Void Trap work together. Moondrop is victimized, which this is retconned immediately, which I'm pretty sure I did not mean to do. And then, that's where the episode ends. As we move into Darkest Desires, Part 1. We see what happened freaking, which I'm pretty sure, what's the name of the last, wait a minute, one sec. Okay, no, okay, I'll just say, wait a second, last, yeah, so, Withered Freddy was captured, and sadly is beaten as we return back to the animatronics as now they decided that they needed to do something. As the other friends like, hey, we can all band together, we all work together. We see TFC's Medic, who is a one-off character. We see all the animatronics trying to figure out what to do. They gather more supplies as Freddy's fully fixed, which I probably would have liked the other look at. As Demon Predator finally returns, kind of saying, hey guys, we're all being beaten, we need to come back home. As Demon Predator is able to bring them and teleport them to the place where they're all being held. As we see the fact that they go to save Wither Freddy, they see all many consequences vibing, who we'll be seeing later down the line. As Demon Predator and Demon String Bonnie fight, in the end, the episode finally revealed that it is Demon String Bonnie. And that was a cliffhanger for many people watching this. As we move into part 2, Dark Desires, episode 5, part 2. Now, this episode is kind of the end of the entire arc, the Malware arc. We are nearing the end of the Malware arc. The two brothers are fighting with everything they have. Soon, Demon Predator is able to fight as they go to save Wither Freddy. As they soon reach him, finally to free him. But the fight is getting out of hand as soon Demon String Bonnie is defeated. And what they think, killed. So yeah, they go in for more. They try to figure out what to do as they're all trying to run away, get away from this, as they all try their best. Soon they teleport to a snowy tundra, seeing Malware waiting for them, laughing maniacally, showing his weird face. And Moondrop works with them now, being corrupted. He defeats Shadow Bonnie, who is just injured horrifically. Moondrop is betrayed as he kills Moondrop trying to get his revenge. And soon in the final fight against Malware, I'm pretty sure the end is like, oh my god, you're useless. Oh yes, I have a plan. The Stereotype Bonnie's revealed to be alive as he just takes him away. As he kills him. And yeah, this is where it ends. And yeah, he's like, yes. And now we enter episode 6, Reclaiming the Pizzeria. As now with the animatronics going to reclaim the pizzeria, Puppet being brutalized and beaten, the animatronics go in to go reclaim the pizzeria for what they believe is their final chance. As we see that the animatronics are dead, we see the plan of Operation Hellfire. Malware is talking about his plans with his allies as they see a pit into the Shadow Realm itself open. As now, Malware goes down into it, creating his new body, Maltrap. Being an ominous opening as we enter into episode 7, The Gates, part 1. As now, all the animatronics are trying to figure out what's happened. With now the new threat underway, they all try to figure out what to do now. With animatronics beaten, destroyed, and injured. They all are freaking out at this point, kind of like, oh god, we're all gonna die, aren't we? As soon they're attacked by Pit Bonnie, emerging from the pit, causing a bit of problems. They're soon able to defeat the creature, but what they haven't realized is that there's a new threat completely underway, with Malware becoming stronger and stronger. He opens the pit in the Shadow Realm has grown deeper and deeper, as Malware soon is able to leave the body, corrupting things and showing the fact of his plan. As he gets this bit of a suit upgrade, he immerses it in his old body. Like, oh my god, it's not correctly. As soon as he gets a visit from the Gates. And the Gates does actually play an important role in the next part. Wait, so we see as the animatronics like, oh god, what are we gonna do? We see Demon Trap and Twisted Freddy kind of like going, okay, we're all gonna attack. The Gates like, yeah, I'm gonna just kill you two and attack. So yeah, the Gates make his presence known as he escaped with the gauntlet, showing his power in general, ripping the gauntlet straight off Wither Freddy. And this weakens Wither Freddy a lot as he leaves. As now he returns the gauntlet. Toe powering himself up a lot more, becoming his second form. And now we move into part 2, The Shadows. With tension slowly reaching, Freddy's obviously angry at everyone with what's happened. He blames Wither Freddy for losing the one thing that protects them with Glitch Trap. Still very much weakened from the Dark Desire episodes. So the fact that he's now in a completely different form is the two leave to go find out what's happening. Trying to find them. Glitch Trap shows where he remembers where they were at. As they're all walking, trying to figure out what to do, they soon discover more and more secrets, discovering an ancient facility as they try to mainly find the demons. And find where they find them. As they soon continue searching around, Glitch Trap goes missing as Wither Freddy's teamed up alone. sees the gates. He appears in a pitch dark void. As soon as revealed what happened with the glitch trap, being brutalized by a puppet on strings. As the gate reveals himself, and in the end, we see the last shot we see is the brutalization of Withered Freddy. As we see in the last, Withered Freddy tries to reclaim the gauntlet and use everything he has against the gates. It fails. As the gate, in the end, we see the last shot of the episode being this. It's like, in the last shot of the episode is this, with Freddy's body brutalized and beaten and destroyed. As now we move into part 3, getting ready. As the animatronics are still very shaken up from all the events that have happened recently, they're trying to figure out what to do and how to get ready for the coming storm. And they're all talking with each other as Moon Joker and another design upgrade, but it's immediately unverted. As all the animatronics are like, oh god, what has happened? Animatronics are damaged, people are broken, people are shattered. As all the animatronics are kind of trying to figure out what to do now, and that a bad fight like this is broken out. They try to figure out what to do. As they all talk and chat, they try to figure out what to do. Shuttlebug's like, hey, I'm on a camera. Ha ha ha. This is kind of the filler episode. We see the gates return in a new form, being more demon, having a new form. He's like, yes, I'm growing stronger and stronger by the minute. The two kind of team up as soon the gates betray. So the gate shadow starts showing his true plan. As now we enter into the final part, Rise of Glitch. Now I'm going to explain this opener for a minute. So we open with two variants. We see a glitch trap and a vanity variant, all green. Now we see them kind of getting together as we see another glitch trap emerge. Like, hey, what are we going to do now? Yes, that's what we're going to do. Now this was actually meant to build up a new villain after the gates. So originally I had plans for an entire group of antagonists known as the Glitched Order. They are meant to be all people who have some sort of glitched virus within them, meant to be a new challenger to animatronics. But sadly, this never went underway and it was cancelled because of last day, because of my motivation slowly dying in the series. As soon as Glitch Trap attacks, and kind of makes his presence known, destroying the animatronics and beating them down. As now the animatronics have a reason, as they finally go fight in the end. Trying to go figure out what to do. They think it's connected to the malware, obviously. So they go and find William's household as they meet up with William and the original Golden Freddy. Talking and trying to figure out what to do. They soon find William. William soon helps them, obviously, as they get rid of the other baddie and kill her in a brutal death, may I add. Drowning her. So yeah, soon the Remnant Axe is created and is given to Freddy as a weapon. As they all move out, they all realize what may be done. And they see, returning to the FNAF 2 pizzeria, aka this pizzeria from one of the origin episodes. So yeah, we see as all the animatronics are brought together, like, hey, what is this place? As we see the damaged stylized animatronics. They're all, yeah, Bonnie's still alive, like, we've been burned. The pizzeria was burned down a long time ago when everyone was killed with, and many people didn't. As so, Withered Freddy goes on, as the team kind of goes out, they capture one of the animatronics. As they all overhear things, as they overhear some lore with the glitched order, as soon they escape. With with the two kind of meeting up with Toy Freddy, who tells them about a cabin in the woods, which is totally a good horror movie sounding name. So they meet someone and they take a boat. As they go out, Freddy gets a new suit. As so we see stylized Chica, who makes an appearance. As the two factions now realize we may need to stop this threat. So the two decide to finally team up. As they all work together, they soon discover Spring Bonnie's now there. They all realize the problem at hand as the two factions fight and battle out. With the other Freddy absorbing the power of the Remnant Axe and even using it. As the final kind of fight between all the teams kind of happen. As the battle rages on, we soon get the reveal as Demon Spring Bonnie enters its final form. With now the fight raging on, Withered Freddy's damaged, Chica becomes Nightmare Chica, as the place explodes from dynamite. With malware able to escape. the entire conflict reaches an apex as the place fully explodes as the Amtrak's escape, returning back to center as the battle was lost. But meanwhile, in the water, we see the return. The gates, as the Amtrak's return, the Patriots, many of them still survived, but the Patriots damaged as they begin rebuilding. And that is the point of what's happening now, with the Patriots being rebuilt. All the Amtrak's are shooken up and nervous what happened. With the final shot of the glitch order, and now this is where the bit of the glitch order ends. And that's it. They may return, who knows. And now we enter a short-lived series. Faster and Friends. So, yeah, this entire series begins. Yeah, so sorry about that, folks. I had to do something. And yeah, so this part opens with the animatronics kind of trying to buy new suits, get new replacement parts, and trying to get fixed up after the events of what happened. They soon see the magnetic bot as that's been developed. New parts arrive for some of the animatronics, as they are pretty much fixed, but importantly, a new Super Puppet has arrived. And Puppet's like, oh, snazzy, I love it! As the two animatronics are talking, they all try to figure out what to do. But now, as the two animatronics try to figure out what's happened and how they're going to recover, we get a one-off scene, and this is another one-off thing that was going to happen in other episodes. But meanwhile, we get a little face reveal by accident that I did not intend to. As we see the two animatronics kind of talking as Withered Freddy threatens as the two animatronics threatening malware and finally get rid of them because they have multiple debts they have yet to pay. And so Nightmare returns in a new body, and that's where that episode ends. As we enter the Fazbear Show, episode 2, which should be called the Fazbear Friends. Yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about. As you see all the animatronics in the aftermath, with Glitch trapped in his mind, facing creatures that he does not know how to deal with. And this is kind of the thread of the series, dealing with demon animatronics. With dealing with Glitch trapped demons, he faces a phantom variant of himself. As of course there's glitches. What is a good Mimic Studios episode without glitches? Of course, folks. Yeah. So we see the animatronics trying to figure out we see Withered Freddy go into the mine. As he begins trying to find Glitch Trap, help him. Glitch Trap scared little puppy. Withered Freddy knowing the stuff Glitch Trap he does. Creatures are created. As soon the final battle in Glitch Trap's mind begins, as they're able to defeat the creature with Withered Freddy unleashing the power he has. Almost being killed, Glitch Trap reawakens into his own form, and destroying the animatronic, and bringing back Glitch Trap. Withered Freddy, they escape. As so the demon creatures escape. As he almost hurts Withered Freddy. As so the animatronics, as this ends. As they all realize the fact of what's happened. Meanwhile, with the nightmare, so as all this happens, they all don't realize that they were being watched by the Glitch Order. As the Glitch Order was going to be new threats. As now, we see Nightmare in the pizzeria. Meanwhile, with the Nightmares, they're all going shopping and enjoying life. For some reason, this episode was buggy as hell. I'm pretty sure it was the internet. I do not know what it was. But yeah, it was crappy. So yeah, all the Nightmare animatronics are like, oh yeah, hey brother. And so this wasn't a time with how Nightmare Bonnie was created. We see Vanny, we see a follower Vanny, we see Sonic for a bit. We basically just see a lot of one-off scenes with characters that were never meant to go anywhere. Nightmare ends up attacking, like, oh god, what the hell's happening? As Nightmare recreates his greatest creation, as he dubs it, the amalgamation. And he basically kills the Nightmares. And this is later retconned. This episode shouldn't be canon anymore. And now we move into episode 11, returning to normal. After all the events that have happened so far, we are now close to so the Nightmare all the animatronics are talking, trying to figure out what's happened. With all this happening, the many of these characters talk, trying just to kind of get over what's happened. It's mainly just an episode returning to normal after the events of that episode. Just a bit of hijinks and fun, as the animatronics trying to talk about what happened, with Withered Freddy contemplating what's happening with the stones. As the original gauntlet is found by Jack O'Bonney. And now we move in to the Goliaths, the two-part Goliaths. And now, sit down for now, folks. Sit down, folks, as we now enter the biggest part yet. So, I'll let you guys have a minute. But yeah, I'll give you guys a second as we as we hit to commercial break side, well, pause, I don't know, yeah. But welcome, everyone, to part 1 of the Last Stand duology, as I'm going to call it for now. It's going to be a quadology, but yeah. We now move into part 1, the beginning of the end. Yeah, so I'll be right back, folks. Alright, folks, we enter now into part 1. Yeah, I wanted to look to see if I still had the first 2 parts. Since I did record a bit of part 3 before I got sick and I kind of just left the project entirely. I checked to see if I had anything left of it, but sadly I don't on this new PC. I thought I did, but yeah. Let's begin! So now we open with seeing Fredbear, with Nightmare working on the amalgamation, doing the final bits of work he needs on it, with now Fredbear being created. With all his plans now fully coming together, he tries to figure out as much as he can. We see the remnants of all the animatronics being ripped out of them and being put into this new creation he's calling his perfection. And as we see all the animatronics unite the remnants, the amalgamation awakens. It begins to be awakened as Nightmare's plan to fully purge this world of the animatronics goes in a way. As the creature becomes even stronger, as it awakens, as Nightmare watches, he smiles with happiness. But meanwhile, he soon realizes that he no longer needs Fredbear. Realizing that everything he needs right now is in his grasp, he decides that he gives it the final bit of remnant, as it's revealed the true purpose that this creature can absorb remnant. We come back with the animatronics now enjoying life in the new pizzeria. Not realizing all the threats of the past are gone, they move into what I dub their kind of best moments in life. They're at the highest they will ever be at. They're happy, they're in a good mood. As the animatronics don't even realize there's going to be catch. We even see these 2 animatronics return for the final time, as they just kind of live there, and they're like fun. As this happens, yeah, and we see Puppet and all the animatronics talking, trying to figure them. Meanwhile, they ignite. Then they get attacked. Animatronics are Toy Freddy and Chico the first to die in the first to fall to the Nightmare amalgamation. With Shadow Pawnee telling them what's happening, they immediately go to try to figure out how to stop it. But the problems are already showing themselves as Nightmare talks about his entire plan. As Shadow Freddy's killed. And I will explain why Shadow Freddy became stone. Because shadows are made out of pure remnant, i.e., whenever Shadow Freddy was completely absorbed, he just became a stone statue, basically. So, yeah, that would have been the fate for Shadow Pawnee if he was also absorbed. But luckily, it wasn't. Because he had plot armor, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and he used a bit of his remnant to give it to Shadow the body, and he became a bit more spring body. So the 2 talked for a minute, they all tried to figure out what to do. As the place was boarded up a bit, and yeah, the place was destroyed and ravaged by the attack. As many of their friends were killed, some of them were able to survive, but the attack overall was very shaking the animatronics. They had not expected any of this to happen. As they all try to figure out what to do now, they find her. They see some of their dead. They try to figure out what's happened, trying their best to kind of reconvene. As all the animatronics kind of unite, it's very shocking. The animatronics were all caught off guard by the attack. As they all try to figure out what to do, they basically just gather all the people they can. And they just get ready to leave since that's all they know what to do now. The pizza is gone. The attack was futile. They find an old animatronic out in the back. That's been there for should not be there. But soon the Pichu is attacked by Nightmare and his goons. And Wither Freddy activates his axe powers. The remnant powers of the axe. They go in to try to hold off the animatronics as the others run off. As the others are told to leave. They appear to what looks like a deserted area. And soon they discovered an animatronic that has been seen for most of the series, actually. Let's see it. Where is it? It's Shadow Freddy! Yep, this is where the Shadow Boy has been this entire time. He's been here in this abandoned little area for literal years. So they soon are attacked by Shadow. They're attacked by Nightmare animatronics. not being caught off guard, obviously, by this. They're able to hold their own. They lose a bit, but they're able to hold their own. But soon, many of them are injured, hurt, and beaten. Soon, a lot of them enter the fray as the portal opens, revealing the fact that there is a lot of these boils. As they're surrounded, but Glitchtrap decides, how about no? As soon they become surrounded by the Nightmare Endos. And so Glitchtrap's forced to use a bit of his power. And so, using his power, he calls forth the power of the glitches and destroys the Nightmare Endos pretty quickly. But as he's able to destroy them, it takes a lot out of him. As the animatronics try to rest and reconvene, they decide to keep moving, trying to figure out where to go now. We cut over with the other animatronics, getting ready for the fight after they left. So this is happening this is happening with the rest. They're attacked as they do not expect any of this. They're all jumped and fight. As so they fight with everything they have. Freddy's of course able to use his power against them, as the animatronics try to fight their own against the attack that's happening right now. With the Endos being like, we outnumber you, the fight begins getting serious as the animatronics try to be killed. The battle for the Pizzeria begins in what I dub the Demon War, the second Demon War. This is what basically is the true Demon War, folks. As the fight begins, death and destruction is rained around every corner as the fight rages. And it's far worse for the humans. It's meanwhile with the humans, they're all trying their best to fight against the Nightmare Armada. Wizard Freddy uses more of his power. Showing the power he has, but weakening him greatly, destroying his suit a bit. Now the final trump card of the end is being unleashed. They're able to Roxanne dies because of the injuries that happened. Luckily, and now as Minion Trap's also killed in a somber yet sad scene. You see the two animatronics trying to already what's happened with all the characters talking. The death of Roxanne brought a lot of sadness to Freddy, I will say that. Minion Trap's death also did. With the two animatronics, with the group realizing what's happening is a lot more serious than they originally convened. They all group together for their final, as they all move out. Trying to figure, as they all are injured, as Foxy's jumped and injured greatly. As soon Foxy is able to live for a few more hours, but sadly, all I thought the Fox is basically a slowly dying shell. Soon the two groups finally reconvene and destroy the ruined city. This city is the result of the Demon Wars. The Demon Wars. This war right here was the Great Nightmare. Currently, the war in this part was the Nightmare War. The Nightmare War would last a good chunk of time. As the battle raged, the animatronics see the damage that had been caused. Seeing dead civilians, dead people, the Nightmare War basically was an entire conflict that none of the animatronics were ready for. The people still shocked. They saw the destruction, seeing abandoned buildings on fire even. Though it's basically horrifying the animatronics. They have no idea what's going on. So they begin trying to reconvene, gather supporters, gather survivors, trying to figure out what to do now, since they're injured. So people are worried, people are sad, depression raises, as soon people reunite. With Glitchtrap and Pittrap reuniting, their emotions are at a new high. With the two teams, as Glitchtrap faces his own emotional dilemma, thinking that they need to take the fight to everyone. With now depression ringing around everyone, no one knows what to do. Sadness is lurking around every corner. With them understand the fact of what's happened. The sadness in case of them, as we soon shoot. I believe this is a 1 year time skip. I don't remember though, but yeah, we see all the characters talking with Glitchtrap and William, with the team kind of forming a plan. We kind of see as everyone tries to figure out what to do. They finally, with Freddy's found, hiding, with him reuniting with the team. They talk about what's happened, with them being shocked by the fact that they were able to first hold their own. They all realize the fact that something worse is happening, with Freddy telling them about how he tried to help humans, but they were futile. The Nightmare War reaches far more, it's only escalating, as humans are trying to fight their own against the nightmares. but each turn is horrible. With the team deciding to take the fight directly to Nightmare, they decide to finally get ready to mobilize. With going into Nightmare's face, Shadow Body uses his Shadow Instinct to go around to try to figure out where Nightmare is hiding fully. Discovering Nightmare, but what he doesn't realize is that the amalgamation, can see him. He's able to get to the allies and he tells them what's happening, but now Nightmare knows they're there. As now they're on high alert, they've been trying to figure out what to do. They try to figure out how to defeat Nightmare. Hey, this was ironically recorded in this exact office. As they all begin teaming up, they try to figure out how to stop Nightmare for good, but not knowing what to do and realizing that many of their efforts will be futile. They try to figure out what to do. As they move through, they see the amalgamation. As the first fight, as they see what Golden Freddy has become, mutated. As Scythe Traveler's cat is also being experimented on. As soon the new Nightmare body was created. Inspired by Overshadow, by the way. Yeah, as the Revenant Axe is used as the biggest fight in the art, the biggest fight begins. With Nightmare using the power he now wields, he grows as the fight begins, creating a third gauntlet. Or not third gauntlet, it's the same gauntlet. And the fight rages on as the two sides fight. Each side fighting for their own reasons and why they are fighting is important. With Goldie working with Nightmare, every team soon unites to destroy Nightmare's gauntlet. Using everything they have, and Nightmare's able to, in the final moments, as the explosion rings out, Nightmare escapes. And Freddy sees the end, the antagonist of this finale. With now the fight over, Nightmare's suit in the last moments is sucked into the shadow. The end saves Nightmare before the explosion happens, by the way, as he teleports into a random place. With Nightmare still alive, oh wait, I forgot this all happened, yeah. Sorry, correction, yeah, so Golden Freddy takes over Nightmare's body, and yeah, basically this happens. I've got all this happen, sorry guys. Yeah, so I thought I'm thinking about something else. So yeah, the animatronics all reconvene, thinking to the end. But the gate's still alive. Watching. Let's move into the FNAF. The basic kind of ending you guys were in. So now we move into part 2, the Gates of War. As the a few months after the event, about a month after the event of the last part, the animatronics are all having a good time now. They think the threat's over, but they understand the fact that humanity's fucked. Basically over. Nightmare's conflict. There's still strands of humanity left, obviously, slowly rebuilding humanity, but it's not as bad as they think it is. Or what you would think humanity's last hours would be. So the animatronics are talking as they talk about the Revenant Act, trying to figure out what it is, and how powerful it truly is. Foxy's death is getting worse. As soon all the characters start thinking about what to do, as soon Foxy is soon have to be. As Glitchtrap sees the axe come unstable, and so a choice had to be made as Foxy is killed. Okay, to try to stabilize the axe. And it works. With Foxy's death, it brings sorrow. We now cut over with the Gates, working on his now malevolent plan to create a perfect hope as a new body for himself. Using and becoming stronger, he absorbs. Alright, now we're back. So we open back up with the animatronics Center. I don't know why it's already over. What the fuck? Okay. Now we open with the animatronics. Now, as the Gates with the Gates gaining more power, he begins planning an attack on the animatronics. After Foxy's death, a funeral was held. Sadly, I don't think we ever saw this funeral, but yeah. Nightmare is taking over Goldie's body more and more. As this is becoming evident to Goldie, he's afraid. As soon the Gates attack, trying to kill with Freddy and absorb the Revenant Axe for all he needs. The fight is all about the Revenant Axe. As soon Freddy's pinned against the wall, the Gates thinks it's all the battle. It's basically this battle is the name. As soon Nightmare is able to gain control, giving more power. As the entity known as the Gates gains more and more power. Freddy realizes what's happening and goes to try to help. And tries his best to stop the demon at hand as soon as everyone understands and hides the Revenant Axe. As soon the entity of the gates grows to a new power. As soon as Freddy tries to stop him from getting more power, it fails, futile in the end. As soon as the entity gains a massive boost in power, forming into a new body, the gates pit body is destroyed. As the gate's power continues to skyrocket, it seems there's no hope. But soon his new body is achieved. His final form. The perfect gate. And so the gate's fourth form, or the gate, as I call it, soon a year passed after all this. We see Nightmare's body move. But yeah, 1 year has passed since all the events with the conflict of the battle. As they're trying to work on a new body for Shadow Bonnie, everyone's shocked and shook from what had happened. The fight was long and brutal, but they still did not know what had happened fully. They all were traumatized to the best extent. They didn't know what to do, as they all tried to reconvene. They all tried to figure out what to do and how to do it. As the team talked, they all tried to figure out what to do. With the team and everyone in the team shaken and actually really terrified. They didn't know what to do. They had no clue what to do, as they decided, now they knew humanity was gone by this point, folks, also. So they went to go get some more parts, and to talk to Apt and get more info. But what they haven't realized is the glitch, I'm pretty sure it's the glitch order that attacked? Who attacked? Yeah, we see the animatronics talking. They're all terrified because of what's been happening, as they finally received an artifact that could help them in the long run. But yeah, they're able to take down this deranged William, who has lost his mind. Everyone learns what's happened with the animatronics they face Ennard attacks. Somehow still alive, who knows. Michael's kit was killed. Ennard's basic attack ruined the entire building. As they're moving away, they soon discover the Chief and Withered Bonnie. Withered Bonnie lost when Cuckoo for Cocoa fucking pops after the events of the movie. At the events of the beginning and the end, and for last year with a friend they've been planning out what to do. But he didn't trust Shadow Bonnie or anyone. And now we see the first thing that would be important. This would very much be important in part 4 and 5. 4 and 3. And I'll explain that once we get there. As the team kind of reconvenes, trying to figure out what to attack. Reconvenes. With now a new item, with Gem, they try to go in for upgrading. The final thing they need to upgrade the Shadow Bonnie 2. But meanwhile, they all begin working on this final upgrade for Withered Bonnie. For Shadow Bonnie. And soon it is finished. The Shadow Mecha, as I call it. So the final piece is shot. As so, Shadow Bonnie the new Shadow Bonnie body is created. With a powerful gemstone created by Glitch Trap, known as the glitched gem. As they return to the multiverse city, seeing destroyed and taken over by gates. And this will also be important in NAM, so you'll see this in NAM. So they try to fight the gates, but in the end it's still futile. As the fight, they try their best against the fight. And in their fight, it fails. The gates reveals that he just doesn't care, and stopping the axe, he almost kills Freddy. The glitch is able to save him. As now he realizes the Reverend Axe is no longer important, and he uses the tendrils, the corruption he has spread out the town to take it down. With the battle ended, the team returned, quickly retreating. Well, they hadn't realized the gates had made his appearance here. With them soon realizing, they return. They soon realize Bonnie's been They soon realize a group of them have been captured. Going through the building, they see people dead, injured, and hauled, and beat, and some of them dead. As they soon realize, the gates is waiting for them. With Nightmare now with a bit of an edit made to him now being the Overshadow Mall, who don't ask. But yeah, it's revealed that they have captured Bonnie and Moondrop. With now Freddy being given an ultimatum: hand over the Revenant Axe and the gemstone, or watch his 2 allies die. Bonnie tells him not to give it up. And this scene was heartbreaking in my eyes. He gives the Revenant Axe up. But Bonnie's still killed. Bonnie's killed. Because because the gates wanted Freddy to suffer for what he has done. With Bonnie's death, Freddy's anger rose. He called forth the Revenant Axe to him. And now using its full power, Freddy unleashes the power of the Revenant Axe. As the fight rages, Freddy's almost lost. Freddy was almost beaten. The fight nearing its apex. The two teams try to figure out what to do. With them not knowing what to do, the gate finally goes down and goes to face them. The rest of the other animatronics don't help. Freddy absorbs Revenant X for the final time, growing to the strongest he physically can. As Freddy powers up, he shoots multiple orbs of energy at the gates, fighting with as much power as they physically can against the gate. The battle continues to arise, with the gate finally entering a final form called the All-Seeing form. Freddy now in its final form, and with it Freddy now using the power of the gauntlet to its limits, activates a final evolution. And now using both sides banding together. There, in the end, the battle ends. With the gate being destroyed, what seems like to them, the gate's being destroyed. The gate calls out one last time, but in the end, the gate's defeated. Everyone is injured, of course, from the final battle. But what's left of the gates is only a swirling rings. As now, everyone talks, trying to figure out what has happened. With the battle finally over, they're all shooken up and shaken. And so, the team finally talks, thinking it's over. But then, we cut over to an old abandoned area. We see a shadow talking to someone. As we slowly cut over, we see Demon String Bonnie looming over. As now we see a shadow army. And that ends part 2. And would lead into part 3, the Shadow War. And now, I will give you all a minute to process what's happened. Pause now if you want. Alright, folks. After that beautiful moment, it's time we talk about where the series is going to go after this. So, let's start with part 3, the gates, the Shadow War. The Shadow War was meant to open with the animatronics all kind of getting ready to move out and move into a new place, into a safer place, Secondary Pizzeria. What they hadn't realized that they've been watched and being lured by Demon Spring Bonnie, who's already gotten rid of the animatronics in the Secondary Pizzeria. They soon relocate and teleporting over to the Secondary Pizzeria. It's in ruins. They're shocked, but they're jumped by the demon animatronics, attacking and destroying them, and hurting them, just killing Scythe Trap and, in the end, Pit Trap. Pit Trap and Scythe Trap die. And with this, people are shocked. People are actually, this was a big scene, as Glitchtrap's rage builds, showing more of his power as he attacks both the Demon String Bonnie, trying to finally get rid of him for good. The battle ends in disappointment. With them having to retreat, the injuries, beaten and battered. That was bad. We get a 10-year time skip. 10 long years from the events of what had happened. The animatronics are all kind of basically undamaged. Erosion began slowly taking their way on them. Meanwhile, the world is basically being destroyed and ravaged by demons. Withered Freddy decides that after years, Withered Freddy finally reveals himself, which in the earlier bits was during the fight he went missing. But now he teams up with he reveals himself to the rest of the animatronics and tells them that it's as he talks to them, he says he's sorry and explains about his journeys. And we finally learn where he got the new stone from. He tells them about how his journeys gave him a new stone during his time after the events of the gate, during the gates part 1, 2 to 4. As we learn that he took Glitchtrap with him, as he soon discovered a new gemstone and gauntlet for him to wield. A new gem for him to wield. Taking this didn't help him much. But using this new gemstone, it had been slowly corrupting him. And during the fight, he had to leave so he didn't harm anyone with the corruption happening to him. And so, with his return, he wants to help them and to use the gem finally for good. As they decide, they make a daring choice to enter into the Shadow Realm for the final time. Fighting on the home turf this time. Teleporting into the Shadow Realm, it looked completely different. Now, it looked more like a dictatorship-like capital. And this is where my overambition came in. That's mainly why I canceled it. Part 3 was overambitious. But, And in the end, the team would have had to figure out what to do as soon as they learned about a prophecy. With them learning about this prophecy, they learned about how both gauntlets can be fused. Two gauntlets will be fused into one, granting the person immense power. But meanwhile, Shadow Bonnie had been acting up recently, and it would be soon revealed that he was the Gates. Shadow Bonnie is the Gates, the true Gate. That is what Shadow Bonnie is, and who he is. Using the Gates' heart, the heart of Gates, he absorbs it, finally revealing his true form. And doing this, he attacks the animatronics, defeating them, injuring them greatly. Meanwhile, with Nightmare and the end, and the answering Bonnie, we cut over with the end. This was at the beginning. I forgot to mention this. At the beginning of part 3, I don't know why the hell I forgot this. But in the beginning of part 3, we cut over with the end, seeing as we see the Nightmare talk to him, and he gives Nightmare a new variant of his gauntlet, a stone that will absorb energy for him. And so throughout the entire thing, Nightmare is seen absorbing energy slowly and carefully. And in this, it shows the effects on him. I did make models for this, and I will probably boot up. And whenever we get into extras, I will show the models I made and all that. But with the battle fully raging, and after the battle with the gate finally returns, holding with Freddy, throwing them in front of everyone. Now, Nightmare and Demon String Bonnie watching in this smile, knowing the fact that their plan was now reaching its true apex. The end revealed himself, and as everything reached its true conclusion, we finally get the reveal of Jacko Stone, a Jacko Bonnie who has been corrupted, a demon Jacko Bonnie, who now wields the power of the first gauntlet. And that is where part 3 would have ended. As we enter part 4, the last stand. With everything now with everyone injured, damaged, bruised, and some of them dead. The team tries to finally reconvene for the final time, trying to gain hold of what's happened. The only people who are left are Toy Bonnie, Freddy, Glitch Trap, and I believe Shadow Freddy. They're the only people left besides Withered Foxy, who's still alive barely. But these are the last group with Puppet. We're gonna mention Puppet. And with this group, they are able to sneak into the pizzeria. They're able to sneak into where the main antagonists are hiding. But it's revealed that they're trying to finally get the final stone out of Withered Freddy. But Withered Freddy had absorbed. But as they're trying to get it off, Withered Freddy absorbs it, making sure they can never get it. Angered by this, the end begins torturing Withered Freddy. As now with tensions rising to their absolute, the Nightmare begins absorbing more power from the gates, and also Withered Freddy, gaining more and more power from the stone. The effects of it begins really showing a Nightmare. As his body begins getting corroded in this red substance, as he begins glowing, as his power soon reaches. But soon the animatronics attack, surprise attacking, fighting against all three antagonists. The antagonists of the movie, with all four antagonists. Sorry, with the final fight raging on, the animatronics fight with everything they have in them. And now, with the fight truly reaching a point of almost no return, Withered Freddy joins in, and killing Demon Jacko Bonnie, and taking the final gauntlet, realizing what is to become. Glitch teams up with him, using the glitch gemstone. He fuses it he uses it, all three objects, to fuse the gauntlet. Using it, and Glitch using it, he's able to hold his own against even the end, but it's still not enough power for him. And so, Freddy makes the fight, throws this axe to Glitch Trap. And over this time, Freddy's been slowly been learning everything that he needs to know. Trusting Glitch Trap, he throws the axe to him, and Glitch Trap using it would fuse the axe into his hand, creating the ultimate gauntlet, sending the end out of the Shadow Realm. The gauntlet's power would surge, as Good Shadow would have vein marks all around him, as the gauntlet would be fully his new hand that he had lost earlier in the part. As the final fight would finally begin against all the antagonists, everyone began retreating, but Demon String, and in the end, the gates would in the end, the Shadow Realm in the final battle against Demon String Bonnie, Glitchtrap would use the full power of the gauntlet to destroy the entire Shadow Realm, including himself and Demon String Bonnie. While everyone else escaped, the team was injured, beaten, and watching as their friend, their final ally, die in the end. And in the end, they appear in the destroyed ruins of the final of their pizzeria, crying, as that's where it would have ended. That was the end of part 4, and would have been, and there would be the final part, the epilogue. The epilogue would have consisted of 4 parts, each part ending, and in each part, the team would be shown 10 years into the future after the events of the entire Last Stand, recovering and finally building a new life for themselves, trying to find some sort of happiness in the end. Sadly, erosion finally took away. Some of them were dead. The last few standing were Puppet, Freddy, and Withered Freddy. And in the end, but soon the end would attack. And in each part, the characters would have to finally finish the end off. And Freddy using the last bits of power, and in the end, it will be Withered Freddy and Freddy. And in the final fight against the end, Withered Freddy would die, and Freddy would be able to finally defeat the end. But it would result in the entire universe itself being destroyed and eradicated, basically causing a factory reset of the universe, ending the story there. And that is what would have been the final parts. And yeah, that is what would have been the end. Alright, let's move on to extras. Alright, folks, now we're going to view the Google Doc. Yep, I'm pretty sure since part 1, people have been curious about what's in here. So this Google Doc contains everything of what would have happened in Gmod, in the FNAF Gmod series. So we begin with the main series. The main season would have been called The Nightmare Begins. You've already seen this in the last part. But now we move in to the rise of Malware. Malware originally was going to be the Season 2 villain. But things changed, obviously. So yeah, we see that he is, we see Operation Hellfire of the Gates, and then we begin part 1. Now we begin Act 2, which is where things change. The origin parts. So originally, one of the things that changed immediately in the early season was the fact that Fredbear was originally meant to be the main antagonist, and Demon String Bonnie. But things changed, obviously, yeah. That's how stories work. So, we see the fact that Malware was meant to be the main evil, as we soon see new antagonists like Void Trap appear, who would have been a very prominent entity in Season 2 and 3. As we soon see Glitch Shadow, as we end with Twisted, as Act 3 begins, we see the finale being called Twisted Nightmare. It will be the 4-part finale, and it would have ended the season, with the defeat of Malware and all that. Now we enter into Season 3, An Age of Peace. Now this was meant to be a more calm season. Act 1 and 2 were the calm, and then Act 3 was... And this was kind of the end of the rising action. This was the beginning of the rising, and this was so yeah. What I kind of see it as is that there are 3 acts throughout the series. See, the 3 acts. The series is made up of 3 acts. Act 1 and 2 and half of 3 are the first act. And then Act 2 begins. And they're kind of like the calm parts. They're the rising action, exposition, all that. But then the second half of Season 3, 4, 5 are kind of like the rising action, or more rising action, and then Season 6, the climax. There were meant to be 6 seasons. So yeah, we see it was all meant to begin with the pizzeria getting shut down for the first act, and reopening. So it really would have been 2. Yeah, that's why I changed it, it was pretty fast. Then Act 2 begins. The rain. Glitch Shadow doesn't have a bit of an arc. Yeah, so we get the life and lives of Freddy. It would have and Act 2 would have covered more fun little side crap, but it would have ended with Void Trap being revealed, with him gaining power throughout the 3 parts. becoming stronger and stronger. As soon we enter into big part Act 3, Episode 1 would be called A Small Return, which would have consisted of mini chapter return actually. As so we would have gotten a 2-part, which would have been called The Attack of the Recolors, and then Attack of the Glitch Shadow, which would have been Glitch Trap, who would have been missing since the Glitch Shadow episode. So yeah, that's where, yeah, so we get Moondrop Show, The Rise of Nightmare Drop, which would have been Moondrop being corrupted by Nightmare, and then saving Moondrop, and then we get a 3-part finale called Nightmare Return, and that would have ended Nightmare Story. And then we begin Season 4, The Time War. Yeah, so it would begin with Fredbear versus Nightmare, then Chocolate Bonnie's Rise, a new villain, the Shadows, the Chaos begins, and it was literally just kind of a beginning minute. Most of the series was gonna be most of this was gonna be kind of a calm, rising action, and Act 1 and 2 were kind of the beginning of the Time War, with the Time War conflict, the time conflict, and in the end of Act 2, it ends as everyone watching as time itself begins. I mean, Toy Bonnie's final fight begins as we enter the Time War movie we set this for episode 10. And in the end, we had episode 1, which would have been The Wrath of Shadow Toy Bonnie. What about Shadow Toy Bonnie? Who knows? So yeah, the twist, and we see the cheat, and this would have been kind of the ending as Nightmare returns for its final act. And actually, Demon King Bonnie would have returned for this. He would be the final fight. During this fight, his defeat would end. The Chief's Will would have been the end. And now we begin with Rising Chaos. This would have been the final act of the story. The end would finally make his reveal, as we see kind of everyone understanding everything that's happened, as they all view into the world as they fight evils that have finally attacked. As the world itself generally was causing problems with the timeline cracking, the final fight, the war would break out across the timeline. Literally hell would rise. A war for reality would begin. It would literally be the most brutal thing this arc would have been. And Over Ambition is what claimed it, in the end, ironically. With the final fight beginning, Bonnie would die, Fredbear would be completely erased from the timeline itself, in the end, the Shadow Realm would have been eradicated. And we entered Season 6, 10 episodes. The beginning of the end and the ending of the end. The final fight against the end. And in the end, it would have ended with an epilogue for the story's end. And that's where the story would have ended. The end was always going to be the final antagonist, and now these are all the kind of lies of the characters. Sadly, this was all never really got used, since never really needed them. And then we got cities. So yeah, I misspelled a lot. This was back when I was still trying to spell crap, obviously. Animatronica, Neon City, Shadow City, or Neo City as I call it now, Shadow City. You would have seen these two things appear later in the series. Anyways, so yeah, we get the pizzerias, and then other locations, Predator's Hideout, 7-Eleven, Factory, Prison Town. You would have Shadow Realm. You would have seen all this. And now we move in to Shattered World, which, if you remember what Shattered World was, it was an entire series. It was canceled due to my own reason. Anyways, so Shattered World had 5 chapters. And all these chapters are going to build up into the final kind of overarching arc. And yeah, then we move into the Lost Chronicles, this was something, I don't remember what this was. I think this was meant to be kind of just little episodes, kind of explaining what all the characters were. And then Phasma's Fright, this was meant to be how Phasma's Fright was meant to go. In the flesh, of course. Yeah, so we only got to Only Freddy, then we ended it, yeah. And then Passwords, yeah. So yeah, that's what would have happened with this. So yeah, you see there was a lot of content planned, but yeah, a lot of it was cancelled. Because of my own over-ambition and all that. Now, let's go on to Gmod Ragdolls. Let's go. Alright, folks, and Scary's Mod just decided that it loves to hate me. I can't really show anything now. The models will probably be shown on my community post. But yeah, guys, this is where it ends. I bid you all adieu. This was the Gmod timeline. Ignore it. I'll have a video playing in the background right now. But bye, guys. Bye-bye. Have a good day, guys. Stay safe out there. Hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry about this ending. I had so much more planned, but yeah.